So, all right, we're live. So yeah, but yeah, I love all this concept. Stick's one of my favorite. I think it's very simple. Even if you do like a 2x2 and have the running back be the third guy on one side.
It is. That is how I
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, it is okay.
Yeah, so it's easier that way. So the other teaching point or install point is that I try to keep it similar to the line. You know how like okay, power and counter, nothing changes for them, or you
Yeah.
want to minimize, the change up front. I want to do the same with them. So when we go, it's either we call it a spout. So depending on what we're
Okay.
getting, it's really just speed out. I got tired of saying speed out over and over and over, so we just call it a
Yeah.
spout. So it's either that or a flare, depending on whatever what we're getting. Um, but then when you go into trips, the teaching point is still the same. Hey, whoever the most inside guy is, you have that spout route.
Hmm. I
But
got you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah. I know. Like Phil Longo when he was at Carolina, he would teach it where like number two's run the hitch, and then your running back he would run the shoot and
it.
press towards the line of scrimmage because it puts just more stress on the outside backer you're trying to read. Whereas if you run a swing, he can play both.
Yeah,
At least I
yeah.
think they can. And so that's what we would do. But we did a lot more 3x1 when it came to stick. Uh, but it's usually open. It's like, can you be patient enough to throw the hitch? And then once they start
True.
getting on the hitch, throw it out.
Yeah, yeah. Now that goes back to that teaching point. Like,
Yep.
if you don't have a guy to be able to process that, or is
Yeah.
uh like paranoid of
Yep.
any pressure, it's like any type of pressure, he's out of there. So you got to make him play with your legs at that point.
I got you. What's your go to like downfield drop back if you even run drop back because most people don't really.
No, I mean we categorize it, so it's like anything catch, punch, throw, like the quick stuff,
Yeah.
screens and whatnot. Then we go short, mid, drop, and
Okay.
drop is, I mean, and that it's not four verts is not really drop, but I just say
Yeah.
that it takes a longer, like the distance is getting further away. So
Yeah.
I like
I
four
agree.
verts. I like double post. That's drop ish because you can
Yeah.
get real crazy with double post. To be honest,
Yeah. We would go double post and then we have double post and have a wheel. And that wheel would be
with it,
nasty.
with it, with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we have 3x1 concept have one and two run the double post and threes run the wheel, have it
yeah.
push vertical and cut right off of them. And if that corner jumps over on the post, no
Yeah.
one's there. So heck yeah.
Like that. Going back to verts, like I'll install it the base format of verts,
Yeah.
and then we'll install it with a choice tag. And
Okay.
so then it becomes you might get four vert comebacks. You might
Mhm.
get you might get two verts and two comebacks. But to make it easy for the quarterback, I just essentially for the most part split field read. So we just divide
Yeah.
the centers the stripe and then he's looking to that side. Or
Yeah.
if the running back is to that side, he's in the play.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, definitely double post is up there. You can do some
Yeah.
cool stuff with that.
Yeah. I'm a big flood guy too, and the flood and the variations off of flood. Because we were a big sprint out type team. Um, my last spot we were really good, and quarterback was really good on the run. So if he's running sprint out, and if it's not there, it just becomes quarterback sweep, and now we're getting yards regardless. So it kind of was a win-win. And then we would run normal flood. Three has a flat. Two has the out and then go. And then we would
Mm.
switch with the whip out go, and then we'd be crazy with it. And so that's what I like. People are like, what's your favorite concepts? Whatever I can be multiple with. You know, if it's like, hey, I can only do a concept this way, then
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to do it. Like because I can't because that's one thing. Okay, now I'm putting all my effort into one
Yeah.
concept. And so I know you can tag different receivers, but if you're running one base concept and then your X on the backside, you can tag him. I mean, you're just trying to throw him a choice route, which is fine. But
Yeah. But that's got to be, designated pre-snap.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 100%. But let's see, in 22, our best run was Power Reed, just because of the quarterback we had. Power Reed we got a lot out of it. My head coach would talk to other head coaches, and before we'd play him, and he was like, "Hey, we won't throw 4 verts if you don't call Power Reed." And it was like kind of a joke because they knew we were going to get whatever we wanted off of it. So to this day, I'll always have that in my arsenal.
Like I said, it was outside zone worked really well.
Okay.
And honestly, I saw it late, but I don't know how you teach it. I kind of started flirting with the idea, and I know maybe it was you somewhere on Twitter, like talking about the Gallup step.
Yeah.
At that point, we were just too late in the season to even change anything. We had just started getting good at it. So, and I don't mean last year. Last season, outside zone was out the window. But the previous season, we got pretty good at it. But I like the Gallup step. But I want to understand the teaching points of it more before I am like, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, for me, because we weren't always a Gallup step. We were always shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah. Foot to
traditional.
crotch?
Excuse me?
Are you going foot to crotch?
Yeah. So don't let them split you and stuff like that. And so then when, I used like growing up, I used to be in a system where it was, a base and a drive guy where I'm like, well, that makes sense to me. That's pretty much Gallup, one guy takes him thick, like he's drive blocking, the other guy drives him down. And I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense to me. Now the Gallup is just he's shuffling and he's gonna knock the hit down and put him into the A gap.
Yeah, but sometimes like that, the guy that's in the if they're splitting the defender and they're trying to work up, that inside guy is like taking a hard Gallup.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, all right, is it just predicated already, or are you like, when you tell him not to do that, just in case? Like you miss something coming in that gap, like behind it.
Yeah, I think talking to some guys that I know that do it a lot, they subscribe to the fact of, like you said, medicated, whatever you said. I can't speak, coach, but it's already predetermined. Excuse me. Yeah. So it's like, we're gonna live. Something comes to this back that they got, we'll live with it because we're trying to cancel that gap. Like, so the tackle's coming down with all his force to put that 3 technique into the A gap to cancel it out. So if they put somebody to the A gap, now they got 2-on-1 gap. Now they're out of alignment. And so, but I totally understand what you're saying. But I guess that's what they're saying is like, hey, we put the guy in the A gap. And so when we come down and we hit that hip and we knock him down, now I'm on a track 45 degrees trying to work to that backside backer already. Because I've heard as well, like, hey, we just use one flipper because our shoulders need to be square for the linebacker. And one guy told me, he's like, coach, if you come down, he's like, because he teaches them go like this and knock down hard. And I'm like, so if you put both hands in here,
off the line? Just straight off the line?
Yeah, so you get your chuck, gallop, boom, knock it down. And then so I'm like, well, if he turns his shoulders and that linebacker scrapes over top, it's harder to come off, basic, double team type rules. He's like, but coach, look, if you go and you teach him to knock it down, now he's on a 45-degree angle to climb already to go to that backer. So I'm gonna play around with it. No, it was a high school guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, high school guy. Now he does have one of the best offensive lines in the state of North Carolina. But he does, like, he's been doing it for years and years. Like he ain't doing it with just the best guys. He's been doing it for years. But
see, I want to understand that, and that's not saying that. Obviously, I can't say that he's wrong because I don't know enough about it. But the idea intrigues me, and it's just being surrounded by people that have been doing that. Because I was taught, hey, foot to crotch, settle at the armpit if you all that type of stuff.
Yeah, Coach Vita says we go up in duo, pre-reading where your backer is important. We try to emphasize adjacent high legs in the double teams. I got you. So
I saw some good tape from actually today, and maybe because I kept liking a bunch of Gallup stuff, but
Yeah,
like, I ended up seeing some good tape from I want to say Ohio State, like on how to drill it.
yeah,
You naturally get off of that, I guess double if you will.
yeah. Um, I know, it's obviously big on gap scheme. And then, do you run? Do you run like I know you say outside zone? Do you run like inside zone?
Yeah, I mean it just depends. Like, if we can't do it, then we can't. Like OC
Yeah,
101, if you run what they allow, and
yeah,
when you have that kind of pitch before it starts counting, is
yeah,
like, all right, well, we're not that strong at that. So, is it in the playbook? Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Of course. Yeah, I know. Because I want to get better at like doing what they call piggyback on zone. So basically, you can think of like my fist. So we're here, okay, and so let's say I don't know, maybe it's a one technique. So this guy takes him, and the other guy's coming almost right behind him, and they're kind of working like on each other's back. So the
Like
guy that,
walling off?
huh?
Do they end up like walling off that way?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then the guy in the back ends up taking it over, and the other guy can climb off.
Oh,
They're basically calling it piggyback, but it's more of a zone technique. Let me see if I can I'll find some clips. Hopefully they're actually there. I know a lot of people call it this, but I don't know. Twitter is the best resource.
walling off that way.
Double team. Let's see. Do. I don't know. But anybody that's watching, if you want to come hang out and talk to us, just let me know and I'll send you a DM with the invite link. Let me find this.
Yeah, and then like for the people that run duo, it's like it's like a thin line between duo and inside zone.
Yeah.
Because the way that, like, all right, for us, if we're gonna run duo, backside naturally becomes inside zone.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. My biggest thing, because I do think they're different, but
For sure.
what I say, and this gets a lot of hate, but I don't care. What they call it? I don't know because they're not calling piggyback. That's what I've heard it called. Anyway, but essentially, duo, we're stepping both same way. To vice a guy and move him off the ball. Whereas zone, I feel we're all moving the same way.
Yes.
Like we all have our play side gap to infinity. Like you run your track, you have all the way. So that's the difference for me. And then obviously reading linebackers and versus
I'm not disagreeing with you. It's two different concepts. There are some people that argue, all right, hey, duo is inside zone and inside zone is duo, and
no doubt,
it could be vastly different.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like those people, and there's no shade to them because I know there's a lot of duo people. No shade to them. I feel like that's just the coach being like, I don't need to separate. I'm just gonna call it all the same thing, and that's fine. Do what you want to do. I can't find it. Whatever. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I like duo. We did it because we would just make a tag to our power play, and then we just turn it into duo. So like we just wouldn't pull our guard. Yeah, we would kill the pool, and instead of doubling to the backside, the play side double team would just go vertical to the play side linebacker, and then the same thing on the backside. So
okay.
So just one quick tag, especially when we're getting a lot of B gap run through. We would just we'll kill the pool, run duo. So instead of calling it a whole new play.
Yeah. But see, that's now you see that's like why I tag so much, because this is my theory on tagging. If I see something in game as an adjustment and we didn't install, like we're not going to run something that we didn't install. If I see it in game and we need to make an adjustment, but we haven't run it, I can tag that concept Say it's a pass. Say I want dagger, but
Yeah.
we're running levels.
Yeah.
I can tag that, and now we have it. They don't know that, but I know it. They
Yeah.
just got tagged on, their route combo.
Practice it, like, cause you run that deep in, and so and you all those different type of stuff. So heck yeah. Um, yeah, we do the same, and I'm big on uh, don't make a whole new play, just tag something to add to it.
Exactly, man. I hear you.
Because a lot of guys will have, oh, we got 27,000 plays. That's 27,000 things the guys need to remember. And there's two different camps. There's like, well, now they have to remember a new tag. I'm like, yeah, but the tag only might change one person.
And that's the key. You can't. The tag has to be specific. Like you can't. I think I was just doing something today, to be honest, just going through my playbook and picking things out and all that shit. But like the tag, you only want to change, one person maybe because you see
Yeah.
something. Like say you're running mesh, right? And you tag instead of having the backside guy, like the Z receiver, right? And running that spot route, the OTB route, say you tag him to take the over and then the slot, and we're in 2x2, by the way, just in case you didn't know. That slot takes a corner if that's what you wanted. Everything is still the same except for that simple switch. Nothing changes for everybody else.
Yeah. Don't talk to them. That's what I
Yeah, don't talk.
When I was an OL, just a straight up OL guy, I always tell the play caller, I'm like, hey, why would we don't mess with my guys? Don't mess with them. Like they're very smart. They're very dumb. They're very dumb at the same time. Like don't leave them alone. They like what they like. They like if we call power Philly, right? It has a P in it. So like we're gonna call Philly. Don't be trying to add something to Philly. Like don't be calling it now. Now we're gonna call it Pittsburgh. Now we're gonna call it, whatever. Like don't change. Just tag Philly, but don't tell us.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the key there, is making sure that the line is straight. Like even in the pass pros and like that's it. If the line is good, everybody else that scores touchdowns is y'all's job to learn.
Yes. I'm trying to open up this gap. Don't worry about me. Yeah.
You said what? Oh yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to open up this gap. Don't worry about me on the outside.
Yeah. Even as a coach, you're like, yo, to your point.
Yeah.
And I think I don't even know his name from whatever the head coach's name is from Philly, to be honest, is where I saw it. Like that's how play calls get so long because all right, you said don't touch Philly. Well, that's you.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go power, but we want to pull another person and run this concept on the back. Like that's where play calls become so long because now it's talking to everybody else.
Yeah, that's why I like West Coast. I like the concept. I don't like the play call because now you have 27 words, and like Peyton Manning, like the old video of him, he'd be like, da 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 da. It's like I don't even know that. I used to be in a system like in middle school that was like that, and we would sit there as linemen, and we would like just listen for one thing.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and so like it's like a long sentence because he told everybody what to do. Now, this is more of a youth ball type deal, but everybody got told. So I'm just trying to listen for river or lake to know a pass it which way, So yeah, that was.
But it's simple. Like okay, so now that you brought that up, are your play calls like one word? Like how do you?
Yeah, so my play is one word, but the sequence is not. Like I can call one word and I know what the concept is, but I gotta give a formation and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I know some people they package their formations and their motions in the one word, and we don't do that.
See that, and that's what I flirted with that idea last year, but I found myself like, all right, now I'm handicapped.
Yeah.
Because if I say Vegas, and Vegas means, hey, we're gonna go, I don't know, a condensed set. This motion's gonna happen, and we're gonna run double post. What happens if I want to run double post a different way out of that formation or a different play out of that formation.
Yeah, we played a team a couple years ago, and I was calling it, and the whole week we knew that we could be like that we could gash them on inside zone out of 10 personnel and have trips and have our best receiver at number 3 and throw him a bubble all night because they had 2 over 3. So we knew we could do that. We knew we could run in their box. We had a 6-man box. We knew we could do it, and we could throw the bubble. So instead of having to be like, okay, let me go trips left, inside zone right, bubble, having to do that every single time, I just called it black. So I would go black.
Yeah, see, that makes sense though. In that set, like, in that world, it makes sense, especially in your game plan. Hey, we're just gonna call it black, and this is this. Was it inside zone? What was it? RBO or just that was?
No, it was inside zone read, and then he could throw the bubble out on the edge. So red is inside zone to the right, and the backside is running bubble. So he's reading to the end. Obviously, he crashes, he pulls it, he can get on the edge, he can run or throw the bubble. So red, so then black would be inside zone to the left, same over to the right. Yeah. So we would just do that. And if we want to go fast, like, hey, black. So they run to the line, boom, read it, throw it out there, and we're getting 5-6 yards a pop.
Yeah.
So doing that was like, but I think having a couple. Like having your whole offense like that, I don't think it's, in my opinion, there's smarter people out there. But having your whole offense that you only do, hey, we're only going to do this many formations and this many plays out of this many one-word calls. Like, you're not going to be that, you're going to be handicapped. You're going to be strapped. So I'm going to go, hey, maybe we're going to have 4 of these, 5 of these,
Yeah. For sure. I agree. Well, the year before, we had quite a bit of formations. And then this year, again, we didn't have a real quarterback. We had an athlete back there, which is cool to some extent. But I think we ran like maybe 4, maybe 5 formations.
Yeah.
It was very light on the formations this year for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big formation guy.
I love it.
Yeah, we and getting in this year with some ways we do some things, we could get real crazy, and it was easy. Just the way we would tag certain guys where they're supposed to be, and it was real quick. So now you'd have your base formation, you tag this, puts this guy over here, over there, and now you can get.
Now you're speaking my language. I got I got quite a bit on that. Like that in that same world where you're tagging, one word is changing the formation, but this person moved it here. Like we got a tag where I can make say you're getting a look, right? And this happened to us last season. We were playing a team, and the one receiver that we had, they kept whoever was the lone receiver, they kept their number 1 corner on.
Yeah.
And at that time, it happened to be our best receiver, so it made them right. And then when I noticed it, I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to go trips. And we gave a tag where it takes our best receiver and makes them the number 1 and vice versa. Yeah. So now we put a nobody on 1 at the 1 spot, and the best receiver became the 3rd or that inside slot.
Yeah.
So now we're working on a linebacker, and your best guy is guarding a nobody.
Yep. But yeah, we did a lot of unbalanced stuff. We would get into that kind of stuff. But my favorite formation, and I'll share this. And this ain't nothing new, but I love it. Let's see. Here we go. So trips nub. I love trips nub.
Yeah.
So we would go trips nub. Home, we bring Coach Newton in. What's up, Coach? He's probably like, "Oh crap! I didn't mean to join up in here."
No, I did. I'm on my way home from work, so I just wanted to listen to y'all.
Yeah, man. We're talking about formations and being multiple with it.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go trips nub, and let's say we want to tag the H. That H. Now we have 21 personnel over here. We still got 2x2. And then you should go backside stuff like that. That was my favorite formation that we would run.
See, that's my base formation right there. The one where you
really?
shifted, not shift. Well, just think of like old school
Okay.
like Gus Malzahn, like old Auburn.
Yeah.
But the rule is your zero. So the way I do it is X, H, Y, and Z. The only time that is different is in that set, right? Because the Y is the best receiver. But Y, so if you move that H to the left behind the tackle and the guard, that's base set. Running back opposite side, Y follows H, unless I tell you otherwise. So you could get, and you were doing stuff that looked super familiar. Like we do that. We can have that same set, and that is our base trip set, which is that it is the same set that you just had. And you can not shift, but motion in and out of that or tag like so seamlessly, and it gives you so many different formations. Except for that, and also that Y though is not. That's also a tag too, by the way. That Y is he's detached, so essentially he's a wideout. But if I give, say, I don't know, say I gave a home call, this H now goes, he becomes an attached tight end. Okay. So he's a utility guy to me.
Yeah.
He's like a true sniffer. He got to be able to run the ball and catch and block because depending on who you ask, I'm big on personnel. So if that could be 2 back personnel or 11 personnel at any given moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video real soon talking about this guy, like, because this is, to me, outside of quarterback, this is the hardest position in football to play. For me,
he's the most important guy.
Yeah, you got to know so much. Like, I got love for these ugly dudes up here, but this guy right here is so important. Like you said, he got to be able to kick out, be able to wham, be able to trap, be able to arc. He's got to run routes, be able to line up here, line up over here, line up over here. Like, he's got motion every which way we want. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a video on that.
This year, to be honest. Like, and I had to give him credit because originally the quarterback was supposed to play that spot. But we were so young. I think we started 8 freshmen this year. I only started 2 seniors. So the left tackle and him and the quarterback were the only seniors that we started. And that sophomore kid had to learn so much because H and Y are the most important people to me.
Yeah.
They have the most responsibility. Like, they move the most. They have the most motions. Like, those guys are it.
Yeah. I love it. We would get into this stuff. This was our unbalanced stuff. We would, when I brought my JV guy up, we would go like this. Now it's basically the same formation, but now we're strong on the right side instead of having a backside guy.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, we're gonna put him in black because he can't go anywhere, but he's just another tackle for us. Now we have a 6-man line.
Yeah.
So now if you wanted to, you can still go 4 strong. If they don't adjust, you can put this guy on a wheel route. Like, that would be dirty right there. But yeah, you could be.
What was your base play out of that though? Like your base.
Say again.
What was your base run? I mean, obviously, I feel like powers are a no-brainer. But what was your
So we would do all our 3-man stuff. So we run flood. We'd go. We get to work. We'd go snag. We run snag out of that. We run stick. Run a stick out of it. Like I said, anything you want to do, we can go set him over the ball. We go scissors.
Yeah,
I'm just being crazy with my stuff right here, but yeah. And then if you wanted to have him strong, and then you could do anything with him to the flat. You got to have all your concept
power. I mean, that QB is not really power, but you could get. You got a lot of hats over there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna throw any shade because the one who we did it against was a buddy of mine, but we literally lined up in this formation, coach, and they had the defense. I'm not gonna draw it up, but basically they had How many was it? I think it was to my 2 over here, uneligible guys. They had 4, 5 guys like that, and then the rest of the defense over here, just to over here with my ineligible tackle. And so we would run. That's just a bastardized drawing right there, but we ran quarterback sweep. So
Yeah.
everybody's student body right. Everybody's going over here.
Exactly.
And we scored obviously on that, but we just until they adjusted, which didn't really happen, but we would do it like that, but then we would go like this on my favorite formation. Hold on, not my favorite, but one of our best. Still unbalanced. We would go here, put them on the ball like that. So then we would run power. Go there, hinge, and then he would kick, and he would wrap.
Yeah.
And then you could have this guy on the backside. We usually have him on the backside because it plays in well what we're going to do next. And he would run super counter.
Yeah.
And so when they knew we were going to do that, if they would shift over. All we did, we had a call. And on the line of scrimmage, quarterback would say, "Hey, do I have leverage out here? Yes or no? Yes. All right." He'd make a call, something with an L in it, and we would all run sweep over here. And the quarterback would take off and go.
Yeah, so I mean, if you just move those 2 guys in, for me anyway, it was like those 2 dudes that you have spread out over there,
Yeah.
they just were on the line, and now you're in single lane.
Yeah. But we would do like this, and then because we could motion either one of these guys, and more often than not, they're gonna put a guy out here with the ineligible guy. So we're earning a guy because this guy guarded nobody. So, and then they'd bring him in, and they would leave 1-on-2, and we'd throw the smoke out there.
To
He'd
the
just go, he go block him,
yeah, damn.
and he has to go. He has to come behind the line because he's blocking downfield. But so that's why I like unbalanced formations because it makes defenses like, what are you gonna do? All right, you do this, I'm gonna do that. So,
do you run any under center stuff?
not really. We if we want the under center look, then we go pistol.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we'll go pistol. That was just we're not an under center team. We didn't have a guy that we had an athlete at quarterback that really wasn't a quarterback. So to teach him under center steps would have been like taken away from anything we could have done. So
yeah, understand.
Yeah, but I like under center. Nothing wrong with it. I do like the more downhill run from the running back. I love that, of course. But yeah, we go pistol.
Do you what are your splits at?
So we would go 3.
Same.
You tell them 3, they get 2. So I was at a clinic.
I wanted real true 3. Like we needed a.
Oh yeah. I was at a clinic at the AFCA, not the AFCA. What was it? Yeah, it was AFCA, the big one in Nashville. So
this year,
yeah.
Oh,
so
sure.
there was a coach was talking about how he didn't like the splits they had. They had like 4.5 foot splits, coach. Like they were almost split the hash. And I'm like, that's too wide. Like no coach is gonna be like, yeah, you need a
you wouldn't with that.
Exactly. So like I'll just give a basic formation, 2x2 formation. And so literally like because this gives me anxiety because reason being is because now they're just gonna, split gaps. So let's say that they line up in the gaps. Let's say right there, right there, and right there. So now you have to hope that your guy can get all the way down before he can split that gap right there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a D-line coach, I'm just telling my guy, hey, sprint off the ball. Like, you got to take off. Like, do not worry about whatever gap I don't care. You beat the lineman. Go get him. So I don't know. I like wider splits, but I don't like that.
There's a whole system on that. I forgot his
Yeah.
name, but it's called the Big O system.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and he used to be the OC at Charlotte.
yeah.
I forgot his name, but
I
I
know you're
had
talking about.
not entertained it as far as doing it, just entertained, just trying to understand why.
Now, I think if you've got the guys that can move in space really well, yeah, because you're moving guys out of gaps you don't want them to be in. But let's just put a defense up here.
Well, you also have to declare too as a defense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those are some
Now-
wild splits.
Yeah. So let's say that. Let's say we're gonna just run power to the left, right? So we'll go here, there, and under front. Well, if this end is gonna move out of my tackle, I might move him out a little bit. You know, I'm just making this H block a little easier,
Yeah,
right? So we're gonna go here. You know, obviously we know how to block power, and then we're going there. So like I'll live with that tackle being a little wider if this guy is gonna move out with him. I'm just making the hole bigger, right? But then we'll move. All right, you stay in your normal split, and you know we'll live to fight another day. You know, people call it smart splits.
yeah.
If your kids can handle it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, that is. I didn't really do it, but
Yeah,
the idea of it is cool.
yeah. I know some people do it when they're gonna pull, they'll hug this guard a little bit. They'll hug him down, especially if they're playing off the guard. So if this guy is like a 2-eye, all right, well, hug it down a little bit. He's gonna hug it down. So now the center's blocked. It's a little closer to him now, and now you can pull around a little easier. I think that's a little more nuanced than my guys need to know or have to do. So we don't.
Yeah, but that becomes its own teaching point in practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I would rather run power and counter 100 times than have to teach that. So that's just me.
So
But-
what's your what is your game plan look like?
My game plan.
Yeah,
So
like your script guy, and if so, how many, or you know.
so I script everything in practice, obviously, but I don't have a script for the game. I have my call sheet. And I'll have like my openers. Say again?
Okay, then yeah, you answer my question. There it goes.
Yeah, so I have like, hey, these 10 or so could be good. But I'm not a guy that's sitting there like, all right, well, I gotta stick to this. So number one, call it. Okay, number two, call it. I'm not Kyle Shanahan. So but I'll have like, hey, okay, so if I need to get like maybe I'm back on a roll, maybe I'll call these three, looks good. But no, I don't really stay to a script like that. But I'll have every variation of a play that we run, and then I'll have like formations that they'll go with, and then all my plays and variations. I'm not really a situational like scripter, so I don't have like these are my best third down plays. Like call what you think can work. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to have a section over here with 7 plays that are also right here to the left. Like they're all right here. That's me. It might be wrong. I mean, I'm not right, but
no, I understand.
And we weren't great on offense last year, so I didn't do everything right, obviously. So, but my thing is, who I've learned under, they didn't do it that way. So that's not the way I do it. But yeah, I'll have all my plays though. But one thing I do is I have my whole play on my call sheet. I don't have, hey, these are my formations we use. These are my tag formations, and these are all my plays. And I have to sit there and put them together. No,
I do both though.
Okay.
So, like, in that opener, I'm watching film, right? As I'm watching it, I'm seeing, okay, this formations, these work. Okay, you watch it again. All right, these run concepts can work. And you start building it that way. So those openers are full plays. And then I'll have formations like what the hell did I call it last year? I don't even know where I have. I used to have one somewhere around here.
Yeah.
But I would have might be there. The might be theirs. Like this formation might be there with, or this
Yeah.
play call might be there, and how they align to it. Sometimes you just that's why I'll shift out of it to see how you know if you align weird, then now I got it, and we'll get back into what you thought.
I feel you. Yeah. Like, yeah. My call sheet, I mean, that's not a perfect system. And I talk to people, how do you do things? And like, it's very similar. So I don't think I'm like off too much. So, but then like game planning, like, I think my biggest thing this past year was I took it too much from an approach of an O-line coach. Because I was the O-line coach and the offense coordinator. So
Yeah.
I was obviously up front first. You know, this is where every guy should be. But I was still like, hey, now I know I can run against this. I can run against this. Like this box looks good. But then on the back end, I was like, all right, yeah, this coverage. So wasn't as focused on that because I didn't have a quarterback. So, but yeah, trying to find the fish, as they call it, or Ron Waldo, whoever some people call it that way, the worst player on each level, and then trying to figure out, hey, where is he going to be? Where are they going to try and hide him? And that's obvious. That's after like, hey, what front are they? Where do they sit their strength? And then how many linebackers they have in the box? And then their blitzes, and then what coverages they run, like 2 high, 1 high, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean that's pretty similar. It doesn't seem that
yeah,
complicated. Sometimes I'll see some cautions, and don't get me wrong, I wish I knew where it's at, but some of them are a little wild for me as far as
yeah,
like, see, this is an old one,
yeah.
so like I'll have formations up here, but
Yeah.
you remember how I was telling you I'll tag. So these are the tags within those formations, and not all of them. Like you see, some only have like 2 tags.
Yeah.
And then I'll have, all right, this is what we run out of this. This is what we pass out of this. And then based off of, film, I'll build it that way.
Yeah. I
But
got you. Yeah, I'd like to off stream. I'd love to talk about how you tag your formations.
bro, I'm ready. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's been so how that came about really quickly is like maybe 7 years ago, I coached youth football because my daughter was cheerleading, and I was like, all right, screw it. I mean, I'm down here. Why not? I'm not doing anything. So I did. The problem was the OC at the time for that level left.
Yeah.
And when you have, I think it was 10U, at that age is like, I'm telling you to stop playing in the dirt more than I'm telling you how to run power. So
Yeah.
I had to figure out how to, and I hate the beast formation. Like I hate the spinner series. I hate it.
Yeah.
Nothing against people that run it because it is effective, obviously. But I just hated the way it looked, and so I had to figure out how to run what I wanted without teaching them something completely new. And that's where all the tagging came from. Like when I say everything is tagged, bro, I mean everything. It's like a la carte, but there's a method to the madness.
Yeah. I feel you. Well, we've been going for about 48 minutes. I'd like to pick your brain about that. So, guys, I'm going to stop the stream. I appreciate everybody for chilling with us for a little bit. I'm going to pick your brain on that, but then I got to get some stuff done before I go to bed and get up early in the morning for work. So,
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, guys. Appreciate you watching.